Hey, it's Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS, and I'm here with another unboxing. I've got some mail come in. This is just different things I've gotten either from live streams, Patreon, different things. So I figured I'd go through and see the goodies I got, and I'll leave links in the description for all the ones that I got stuff from so that you can follow their content and get excellent, amazing things too. First up is the Hillywood Show. And opening it all off screen where you can't see it because I don't want to give anybody's address away. But the Time Warp. So what the keychain, as a locksmith, I love me some keychains. But what the Hillywood Show is not a podcast like most of my stuff here. They do kind of, I don't know if you'd call it parody, but they do like musicals based on nerd properties. So they do like full costume production, and the one that I found them through was, of course, the Doctor Who one called The Time Warp. And they, the Hillywood sisters, they did up as David Tennant, the other one was Donna, and of course they also had actors for Martha and Rose, and all the different aliens, but they go through doing the whole thing. I also really love their Sherlock Holmes one they did. They're Vegas based, and it was funny, and like they're behind the scenes, like how hard it was to come across here in the US to get some good Daleks. Just absolute, the amount of detail and attention they put into, they're worth watching and supporting. And really, that callback, this is one they did quite a while ago. I would love to see them go back to the world of Doctor Who. But we'll start with that one there. Okay, this next one comes from Comics and Cosmetics. I'm waiting for a good sticker from there. I'm constantly running out of room. But if you haven't checked out Danny's channel yet, Comics and Cosmetics, she talks all things nerd while doing makeup inspired by whatever the subject is. She recently, per my request, did River Song of Doctor Who. And spoilers, it was amazing. It was fun. So look no further than Comics and Cosmetics if you want to have something that's just a good nerd out video. As many people know, I am typically an audio podcast listener. So if you're somebody who's like, well, I'm not into makeup, the nerd talk is real. This is not just a side thing. She's a nerd. She goes in depth character breakdown. A lot of these characters that we see in upcoming projects, she'll do a character that maybe we don't know a lot, whether it be somebody like Moon Knight or She-Hulk or something like that maybe you're not as familiar with. She's got great breakdowns for that. And then if you are somebody who's into makeup and all that, definitely, and the look she pulls off, like she showed how to do, she did a Klingon for Worf, as she's talking about Worf, and then she does like the full, made the ridges, the teeth, the whole thing, and she shows how to do it, and then the makeup to put on after it. Wow, that's like, so like the ridges tutorial stuff, I think was like part of her Patron, definitely worth it. And then she showed like how to do the makeup afterwards. So if you're a cosplayer, definitely check out Comics and Cosmetics. So once again, two very creative channels there, and you're going to see that as a theme tonight. So Hillywood, you got an evening to kill. You can get through most of their like actual performances, but then the behind the scenes, like the stuff that they go on and the production, like it's totally worth checking out there. Next we have from the Nerdhurder Podcast. If you're looking for a positive Star Wars podcast that's or just nerd stuff in general, they talk Transformers, Godzilla, but they always look for the positive stuff about that. So if you're looking for that, look no further than the Nerdhurder Podcast. And once again, they know me. They know I gotta love the keychains. And they live stream, though, at a bad time for me. So I always catch stuff after the fact. but they usually live stream on the weekend. But yeah, good nerd chats, and then they have an active Discord going too. And look at that cool card they sent me. That is cool. I always like Star Wars ships. Nicholas, hello there. Your support and positivity are unparalleled and amazing. We know this small token can hardly compare, but we hope you remember how much you mean to us every time you see it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So appreciate that big time. Okay. Last one, and this is the big one. This is probably the one going on the thumbnail because I watched this. This is from Dreaming Tabatha, and she was actively doing a stream where she was painting this, and that's what she does. She paints and she chats with a chat, and she's also on Inside the Booth and appears on a lot of other podcasts and different things, talking all sorts of nerd stuff. But I first met Tabatha through Science Fictionary Podcast, a podcast that I've guested on a couple of times, and they were doing a live stream just talking Stargate, and what's better than talking some Stargate? So they had me on with a couple other guests, and one of them happened to be Tabatha, and that's really was my first exposure to Inside the Booth was through her. Plus, I had Archie the Icky and JT that I had met, but they had me there. But it's fitting that it was through Stargate that I got to know Tabatha, because this picture that she did, this is a special one. Okay. She's got it further protected there. That's nice. I was a little worried. But I watched her paint this, and she did a collab of Stargate and Indiana Jones. Now, I jokingly said during the thing that I would really wanted a something sharp here. You would think one of these times I'd be prepared. Every time I unbox something, I never get letter openers or scissors or a knife. And all of those things are literally somewhere. Oh, here. Speaking of knife, there we go. Which was the statement I was about to say, is that, Stargate and Indiana Jones, I always wanted Richard Dean Anderson, Harrison Ford to do something together, a MacGyver, Indiana Jones crossover, because I am a huge MacGyver fan, and I remember when the MacGyver movie came out, it was practically an Indiana Jones movie. But then this idea of combining Stargate, which was Richard Dean Anderson's other major show, and it says, "Thank you so much for supporting. It means the world. Enjoy the painting, Tabatha." So we are... I gotta make sure I open this the right way. I know she was worried about it getting dried first. Be very careful about that. Okay. I'm going to put that up there. So there we see Indiana Jones. Be very careful with that, pulling it out, because it's an oil painting and it's still got a little dampness to it. But I love the detail that Tabatha put into that. And we got Indy there at the gate, the chevrons locked. Oh, and I just love the detail of like how she was able to get the gate to uh, have the shimmer look to it. Just outstanding. And so this is something that to me, so special, so special. Combining those two, and I definitely was like, I reached out to her right away. I said, how do I get that? Because this just an amazing job there. So definitely going to include that in the thumbnail. That's going to be the big one takeaway here. But right now she's working on doing Winnie the Pooh as Batman. So all over the place. She also does a lot of like chibi Star Wars characters and stuff like that. So go check out her channel. Once again, Nerd Chat and Talk while she does that. Plus she does movie reviews over on Inside the Booth. And, you know, she's got an Etsy shop that I'm going to put down there as well, where I believe she's going to be doing some prints of this that you can pick up. Because, man, that is impressive. Look at that. Let's just look. We can get in. Look at how good that is. Just, this is getting framed. This is going up. The only reason why it's not going to be hanging up here is just because I don't want anything in the weather to get it. This is going to go in the house. This is so cool. So cool. Thank you, Tabatha. Thank you. And if you'd like one of her works, like I said, watch her streams. Everything she does is for sale. And then check out her Etsy shop. She has a lot of it up there for prints, just like this one, Stargate. We want more Stargate. Tabatha, finish watching Stargate, please. I know, I think I've been hounding her because she rewatches the first couple of seasons over and over again, and people have spoiled her on some of the stuff. And she's like, nah, I'm going to stay here. I don't want to see my favorite characters die off or something. It's Stargate. You'll always see them again. And it's so good. There's so many good characters you got to see. And we definitely want more Brad Wright Stargate, don't we? So, of course, I have been campaigning for that so hard. So I had to see this. And, of course, I love Indiana Jones. Putting the two together, and like I said, the connection through Richard Dean Anderson, MacGyver, when he had the MacGyver movie, was very much when he was getting into the Library of Alexandria, and finding all that and aligning that. It was a total Indiana Jones style movie like this. And of course, you know, you also have the thing that the Crystal Skull basically copywrote the Crystal Skull Stargate thing, but didn't do it arguably as well. But these are just two cool franchises, you know, that go together. And would love to also see interaction between Daniel Jackson and Dr. Jones. But thank you, Tabatha, and thank you to the Nerdhurder, and thank you to Comics and Cosmetics, and of course, the Hillywood Show. Bye-bye. Wait, not bye-bye. Geronimo.